Mic check, 1 2. Mic check, 1 2. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. Today is Thursday, September 4th. It's 8:18 a.m. here in Toronto. It's actually a rainy day outside, which is why I'm inside right now. There are still people sleeping here. So I want to be a little more respectful and I'll try to maybe keep it down. But I'm also streaming early this morning because I am going back to Chicago later today. Hopefully the rain calms itself down in a little bit. Before I begin, Adeline, Stephanie, Birdie, Aisha, 2Enzyme PT, Lynn, Deja, Racecar, Tommy, good morning. Thank you for joining on the stream. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. So still surprises me how some of you are in here this early in the morning, still coming in to be accountable, but I appreciate that. That accountability is something that's really important to me. It's one of the reasons that I am here on a daily basis. Racecar asks, any tips for a first-time faster? Yeah, if you go through my channel, I have a playlist called Fasting for Beginners. You can check out a lot of tips there, but to just give you maybe the first and easiest tip is you just start. If you have a timer, hit your timer after you swallow your last bite of food and just go. You can give yourself a goal. If you want to give yourself a 20-hour goal, a 16-hour goal, a 36-hour goal, a 168-hour goal, but it's not so much hitting that goal, but more so, okay, if you set a goal, you're not able to go for that long, the rule is pretty simple. If you, let's say you decided to fast for 36 hours and you make it 18 hours through, 19 hours through, and you're like, I'm good, right? Like, this is the longest I can go right now. Then you just go ahead, you break, you stop your timer, you refeed, and you go again, right? It's something that requires building your fasting muscle, right? That's what I meant to say. It's a practice that takes time to build into. Racecar asks, is it dangerous to say go for 48 hours off the bat? Here's my advice when it comes to anything like this. When people tell me, Jerome, when I fast for this long, I start to feel weak or nauseous or faint or I can't, right? If you start feeling any of those symptoms, you can try something like having electrolytes. Sometimes what I used to do is I would take a pinch of salt, put it under my tongue, and I'd be fine, right? But if you've tried something like that, or you've tried a 0-calorie drink, because even sometimes drinking a 0-calorie drink is helpful for me. But if you start feeling any type of way, the solution is simple. You break and then you go again. You break and then you go again. You break and then you go again. Maybe the best way to say it too is you don't have to be a hero, right? Not that you're being a hero to anyone else, but you know what I'm getting at? You don't have to always tough it out every single fast. What it means for you is you're working on building your fasting muscle. It's like if I went to the gym for the first time and I've never lifted in my life and I go to a physical a physical trainer? Not a physical trainer. I don't know, a trainer there. And I'm like, yeah, I want to bench 500 pounds. And then they ask me, when's the last time you've been to the gym? And I'm like, I've never gone, right? They're going to look at me like I'm crazy. Now, I'm not saying that you can't, right? Because I've been somebody who has fasted for 11 days right off the bat, right off the start. And it was an awful experience for me because I did not have that fasting muscle, but I also was not really aware of electrolytes or anything like that. So it was different for me. But that's really the best advice I can give. I'm sure there are other people here in the chat as well that can be helpful when it comes to that. So please, if anyone's here, feel free to share. So I am on day 669, right, of my fasting journey. That's not the wrong slide, or that was the wrong slide. This is the correct slide. Today's Thursday, September 4th, 2025. Today's actually day 7 of my vacation. So if you think about it, have the last 669 days for me been perfect? No, right? I'm literally on vacation right now. I literally had some days when I ate back to back days. There were some days when I ate over 4, 5, 6,000 calories. Your journey shouldn't be this cycle of today is day one, today is day one, today is Monday, I'm going to start today, today's the first of the month, I'm going to start now. Instead, you look at your journey as something that is never ending, right? Because even if you got to your goal, even if you got to be exactly where you wanted to be, it's not like the journey ends. There's still keeping the weight off, maintaining your muscle, adding more muscle, being healthier, finding ways to take better care of yourself. This is something that takes time and effort to learn. If you're here to lose weight, I understand. If you're here to get weight off on the scale, I understand. But eventually, you have to come to terms that what really matters isn't the number on the scale. It's how you are taking care of yourself. It's how important your health and your happiness is to you, right? Prioritize your health. This is your number one. Yes, you have obligations. Yes, you have things that you have to take care of in your work life, in your personal life, right? These things are important. Your family's important. Your loved ones are important. All of those things are important. But without your health, you have nothing. Eventually, if you're neglecting it and it comes to take whatever it wants from you and there's no turning back from that, then what, right? I don't want to say all for nothing, but if you were in a position to take care of yourself in the best way possible and you just let that go, right? That's kind of how I look at it. I'm here every day for accountability. That's why I've been live streaming every day for the last 6+ weeks, right? I've been doing this for a while now. I'm here every single day. These live streams aren't perfect. I'm sitting here right now because it's raining outside, because this is the best place for Wi-Fi. And I'm here because I need to be accountable and be like, hey, this is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. This is where I'm going. Because I know when I don't have accountability, it becomes very difficult for me, which is why for many of you who are in here right now, I mean, I see you all here in the chat. Racecar asks, any heart palpitations from fasting? Not me. I've never had that issue. I don't know if other people have in here, but that's something that maybe other people in chat can share. When it comes to questions like these, I can only share my personal experience, but yeah, no, I've never had any issues other than when I first fasted a long time ago and I felt weak and nauseous, but that was because I didn't know what I was doing then. I didn't build the fasting muscle that I have today. Getting back to accountability, right? Accountability is so important. If you find this live stream to be helpful for you, and I know it's helpful for a number of you. Many of you are here every day, no matter what time I'm streaming, which I'm very appreciative of. You're sharing your progress, how things are going. I love to see it. I read through everything. After all these live streams end, I go through chat and I see what people have to say. I read through the comments. That kind of accountability is important to me too, right? It helps me stay motivated. It helps me realize that I'm not alone on this journey, which for many of you, I feel is very similar. Without accountability, I have been in a place where over a month ago, right, I had talked about how I had put on about 30 pounds in 5 weeks. A lot of that was because I just was not here to be accountable. It's easy for me to slip up. It's easy for me to pretend something didn't happen, forget something happened. And when I do that, old habits come back. Old habits are very hard to break. And doubling down on my accountability is something that's helpful for me to get back on track. Sorry, had to mute for a second. My mom was my live audience just now, but she was on her phone, and I was like, "Hey, I can't concentrate." Okay, let me get back to it. Okay, where was I at? So, I ended up gaining about 30 pounds, right, in 5 weeks, about a little over a month ago, 6 weeks now, right, and gaining that weight was tough on me. And it started putting me into this bad place where old habits started coming into play, right? And it came to the point where I was like, I need to do something about this. I can't keep finding myself cycling through these days where, oh, now all of a sudden I'm having a bad day. And it's not like bad days don't come, but I know there's something that I can do to help keep those habits in check, to keep my habits on track, right? And being accountable, being here every day is helpful in that regard. So, like I said, if you find that accountability important, please share with us. Share the good with the bad, right? We're not here to just share our successes. It's great if you can. It's great when you're able to. I love to hear it. I love to see it. But if you're in here right now and you're just thinking of the all or nothing type deal, that you are only going to do the best that you can, not that you can't, right? But if you are thinking that, yeah, I'm going to do an X amount of day fast, and I love that for you, but you also have to come here expecting the fact that there are going to be days when you can't go that hard. And this is where your other tools become necessary. This is where your tool of eating better becomes necessary. This is where your tool of refeeding for shorter becomes necessary. This is where your tool of implementing exercise, cardio, strength training becomes necessary. Your sleep becomes necessary, because if you are neglecting all of those other tools that you have, you are doing yourself a disservice. If you're sitting here saying fasting, right? Or only eat this way, only eat this way, only eat this way, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not giving yourself the opportunity to learn from yourself, right? Because you're putting yourself back in that all or nothing camp. Do it all or do nothing at all. Do it all or do nothing at all. My hope is you break that cycle, that you find a way to break yourself out of that cycle. After gaining about 30 pounds in those 5 weeks, right? I do what I do best, and I put myself back in a fasting routine, doing rounds of ADF. The 30 pounds that I put on in about 5 weeks, I lost the majority of that already in 3 weeks, dropping 24 pounds in 21 days. And then ever since then, I've had rounds of ADF. I've had some longer fasts. I've also had some days where I'm eating high calorie, over 7,000 calories, over 4,000 calories, over 6,000 calories. And currently, I'm on day 7 of vacation. I've been vacationing for the last week, right? And I've still been able to maintain the weight in a way that I didn't think I would be able to. Now, I'm not saying that you need to fast on your vacation days. I could have done something different on my end, like cut my calories, make even better mindful choices. But I'm doing a mix of these things. During these last 7 days, I've had some days where I've eaten a lot. I've had a fasted day. Some days I get a lot of extra steps in because I'm working out and still going to the gym and I'm walking around here in Toronto. Some days I'm not getting my steps in. Some days I'm tired and I'm just hanging out. But do you know what all of this means? It's literally a week of imperfect consistency. It's a week of telling myself you're not going to do the all or nothing part. You're going to go hard if you can. You're going to give yourself grace when you can, and you're going to be okay with it, and you're going to move on. That's how you figure this out. That's how you find success when it comes to weight loss. You practice imperfect consistency. You show up for yourself every single day. You do what you have to do. Not every day is going to be perfect, and there is nothing wrong with that. In the last 19 refeeds, I have refed for around 5 hours. My average calories per refeed, 3,700, higher than I want it to be. But it doesn't stop me from trying every day to get better at what I'm doing. My average protein per refeed, close to 200 grams. Now, here's another example of imperfect consistency, right? My calories are up. I want to keep my calories under 3,000 when I refeed, but they're currently at 3,700. But I'm still working on limiting those calories, making sure they're not going crazy every single time I refeed. My refeed time is under 5 hours. I'm still trying to keep that in check. That's another tool I'm using, right? My average protein per refeed is still close to 200 grams. I'm still prioritizing protein. I'm still, right? When it comes to eating, there are still layers within layers to control there. Controlling your calories is one way. Making mindful choices is one way. Closing down your refeeding time is one way. Prioritizing protein so you make better choices is another way. These are all tools that you use. These are all tools that we know how to use, but we forget because we put ourselves in this all or nothing mindset and we're like, ah, fuck it. I don't want to do any of this. None of this matters, right? That's where the mindset has to change. Really, it's where the mindset has to change. If you're living an all or nothing lifestyle and you are in this cycle, I am telling you, start making small steps to change your habits, to rewire your brain and think differently about what you're doing. This is how you get out of the bad habits you're in. Literally, if you think about it, everything we're doing right now, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to your health, when it comes to happiness, it's all based out of habit. It's all based out of habit. You are where you're at right now. Listen, okay, you're where you're at right now because of your habits. You are at the weight you're at right now because of your habits. Your blood work is exceptional because of your habits. Your blood work is awful because of your habits. Everything is based out of your habits. Those habits have to change. If you are the all or nothing type person, you're going to have some good habits that you have implemented for yourself when you're doing the all part. And you know it because you're capable of it. But is it sustainable? Is it consistent? Maybe for that short amount of time. But then if you are on the nothing end of it, if you are somebody that throws everything away, that says, it doesn't matter today, I'm just going to wait till Monday, that's a bad habit. It's a toxic habit. It's something that you've been doing for years, for decades. And I say that because I have been that person. That has been me. I have been in that position. Part of me still does that. Part of me still thinks that way. It's something that is taking time to learn as days go by, to change that kind of thinking. So, and you know what? So like here, right? I see this comment from Stephanie. I have ADHD. The all or nothing mindset sets me straight sometimes. And here's the thing, Stephanie, and maybe you've heard me say this, and this is how I feel about, here's how I feel about the all or nothing mindset as well, right? the all or nothing mindset is the all part of it, right? I am very all or nothing. I have been very all or nothing. But let me talk about how I feel about it, okay? Because I've said this previously. The all or nothing mindset, I feel like there's nothing wrong with the all part of it. When we fast, if I'm going on a 3-day fast or a 4-day fast or even a week-long fast, that is a very all type action, a very all type of thinking, right? Because I'm literally 0 calories, extreme on one end, trying to get the weight down, right? And I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with pushing hard when you can, right? I don't see anything wrong with giving it your all. That I encourage. If you can healthily do so, if you're in a position where you feel good, you can still function properly, do the all part. Go crazy with the all part. It's the nothing part that I have an issue with. So anybody who watches this, right? There's nothing, you want to fast for 3 days. If you can healthily do so, if you feel good, by all means, right? You want to eat the cleanest, the healthiest possible. You want to do 10,000 steps a day. You want to go jog or you want to lift weights and you want to, by all means, right? Do that part. It's the nothing part that needs to drop. We need to let go of the nothing part where you throw everything away, right? What I'm hoping for is we find that middle ground. So it's more like it's not all or nothing. It's all or something in the middle. That's pretty much how I see it, because you'll see it with me when I show my stats and me fasting for 2 days on end, 3 days on end, 4 days on end, right? It's a very all part of my mindset. But the nothing part is the part that I have been trying to drop as days go by, as I continue learning about myself. The last 10 refeeds for me from August 9th to September 2nd, my calorie intake on average, I want to keep under 3,000. You'll see my last 10 refeeds are way over that number, right? Way over that number. But it doesn't mean I haven't been trying. It doesn't mean that there hasn't been fasting days in between, because there's been fasting days in between here to keep things in check, right? I show this because it's important that you see that even on the days where I am going over my calories, even on the days where I'm on vacation and eating whatever I want, I'm still using my other tools to keep the weight down. I am still in a place right now where I've lost 30 pounds in the last 30 days, right? Because I practice imperfect consistency. I come here day in and day out to show you that I'm not here fasting for an extended period of time and doing things perfectly every single day. I'm showing you that this is imperfect consistency. Some days I fast. Some days I eat more. Some days I am on my game with a few things, like going to the gym, getting 15,000 steps in, but then eating 6,000 calories. Do I beat myself up over it? No, there's no point. That's life. Life is going to happen. It doesn't mean that the next day you can't try to be more mindful. Maybe you can put some fasting underneath your belt, right? Being aware of what you're doing is, I feel like, a big step in this process. And when I talk about being aware, I'm talking about if you're eating 6,000 calories like I do, I ate those 6,000 calories, but I'm still making choices. I could have the last refeed where I ate 6,000 calories, I could have had a couple more beers. I could have ate all the dessert. I could have ate all the appetizers. Easily could have done that. I could have woken up the next morning and not gone for a walk, not gone to the gym and lift weights, not take care of myself in the way that I should. But I know that these are other tools that will help me move on my journey. These are my fasted refeed weights and my fasted weights. And if you look at what's highlighted in red, this shows how much weight I gain after a refeed. plus 5 pounds, plus 6 pounds. You'll see even plus 11 pounds after a refeed. And then if you look highlighted in green, you'll see the weight that I lose 24 plus hours after. 5 pounds, 6 pounds. And then after a 60-hour fast or so, you see me lose 8 pounds, 13 pounds, right? Again, I show these because it's important to understand that you will put on weight after a refeed, especially after you fasted for an extended period of time. You're going to put on weight. Do not let the number on the scale deter you. Do not let the number on the scale affect you in a way where you're like, oh, this isn't worth it, right? Because 24 plus hours later, that weight comes off. I didn't put on 5, 6, 7 pounds of fat. I didn't lose 5, 6, 7 pounds of fat in a day either. There's water weight, there's waste, there's food still in you. There's a number of factors when it comes to that. Do not let the number on the scale deter you in that way. Obviously, it's more than just fasting. In the last 43 days, on top of my fasting, on top of keeping my calories in check, on top of some days when I overeat, right? I still do things like walk every day. My daily step average over the last 6 weeks is over 16,000 steps. And look at yesterday, right? My step count yesterday was 14,671. My step count yesterday was under 15,000, and 15,000 is my number. That's my goal that I want to get to. Did I beat myself up yesterday because I didn't hit 15,000 steps? No. Actually, yesterday was supposed to be a day off for me. And I got a lot more steps in because I went for a walk. Or I did go for a walk, but I was in Toronto and I was walking around and I was checking things out and the steps just came naturally, right? But there was a point I looked at my watch and I was like, I'm almost at 15,000 steps. Should I just walk? And I could have, but I was like, it's my day off anyway. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm not going to say, I didn't get 15,000 steps and now I'm going to just eat everything that I see, right? I don't think that way anymore. Or at least I try not to. And that's the difference, right? I practice something called the 80-20 rule. If you've watched me, excuse me, if you watch me here long enough, I practice something called the 80-20, where 80% of the time I do what I should be doing. 20% of the time, I'm eating whatever. I'm not being too strict about it. Why? Because I'm a human being. And sometimes I'm going to have some days where I'm going to eat what I want and I'm going to drink what I want. And I'm not going to be as mindful as I normally am. But that's 20% of the time. 20% of the time. That's a small percentage of the 80% of the time you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, because that 80% of the time will outweigh that 20%. Obviously, 80-20. But sometimes having that 20%, right? It's relief. It's mental relief. It makes you realize you don't have to go hard all the time. It teaches you how to give yourself grace. It teaches you how to still enjoy, but not completely go insane, right? Because even on my 20% days, even if I'm eating 5, 6, 7,000 calories, I'm still putting some thought into it. I'm still being aware of what I'm doing. And I know that because I'm still counting calories and I'm roughly counting those calories. I'm not being completely exact with what I'm doing, right? But I'm being aware. And like I said earlier, being aware makes a big difference here. In the last 43 days, as I have been tracking my 80-20 days, 38 of those days have been 80% days. My calorie count is under 3,000. My 20% days, look at that, right? My 20% days out of the last 43 days, it's only been 5 of those days. So it's not even 80-20 right now. It's currently 88-12. Think about it like this. There are 30 days in a month. 30 days in a month. 20% of that time, that's 6 times out of the month, right? The other 24 days, that's where you're putting a lot more effort in. And I'm not saying that of those 24 days, then you have to eat the cleanest, then you have to fast the longest. I'm not saying that. Those 80% days should be just a lot more awareness. So what if you eat a little extra on your 80% day? I show that even. My goal on my 80% days is to keep my calories under 3,000. But there are some days where I eat 3,200, 3,600. I still keep that on the 80% mark, right? This is giving yourself grace. This is learning and being like, yes, I'm still going to put all the effort I can in on that day. This is a different line to thread. I'm saying the wrong phrasing there, but you have to figure out that gray area and really make it work for you. I will continue teaching how it works for me in that system, but I'm still learning as well, right? I don't have it down. I am just trying to provide the tools I can for all of you so that you are able to use it to the best of your ability. And if it works, use it. If it doesn't work for you, can it, right? You don't have to do everything I'm saying. Listen, this is the thing that's, I feel like, broken with social media is people see one thing and be like, that's what I got to do. I got to do it exactly that way. That's the only way to do it. No, you don't want to be doing what I did at the beginning of my journey. You could, if you really think that that's who you are and that's what you want to do. But most people aren't going to be doing 90-hour fasts for 5 months in a row and eating 6,000, 7,000 calories in a 4-hour period. The only reason I did that was because that is how I eat. It's different for you. I was eating to satiety. You, on the other hand, might not eat that way. You, on the other hand, might be like, after 2,500 calories, I'm good. I feel full. I am done, right? And even Patrick says here, 90-hour fasts are tough. Here's the thing, right? 90-hour fasts, for many people, it is tough. Some people can do it, but there are also a number of people who cannot keep doing it over and over and over and over and over. I mean, during my 5-month time span, I believe I did it 35 times at least. During the 5 months I lost the 80 pounds. It's not for everybody. You need to figure out what works for you. You need to find a cadence and a rhythm that can be sustainable and consistent, because if you want long-term success, if you want to be able to lose the weight and keep it off like I have now for 669 days, you need to find something that is sustainable and consistent for you. You need to find something that can work for you, because that is the only way you are going to keep yourself in check. It's the only way that you will find a rhythm. This is why I don't do 90-hour fasts anymore. This is why I don't eat 7,000 calories per refeed. I have learned over time to tweak and optimize and change, because I am changing my habits. I am learning about myself, right? I'm not doing the all or nothing, all or nothing, all or nothing. Let's talk about my vacation. In the last 7 days, I have been on vacation. Some days I've been doing them fasted. Some days I've been eating what I've wanted, right? The crazy thing about vacation for me is usually I look at vacation as I'm going to eat all day. I'm going to snack all day. I'm not going to count calories at all. I'm not going to be mindful at all. And usually what ends up happening then is I really push up the weight, but I think if anything else, I'm just adding a bunch of fat on me. I'm just overdoing it every single time. This vacation is so much different. My last vacation was so much different than my first one. The vacation before that was so much different than the previous ones before. Why? Because I keep learning about what I'm doing. The one thing that I've been talking about lately is this vacation. This time around, I've started to tell myself, hey, vacation doesn't always mean food. It doesn't mean that the only thing important about vacation is food. I'm here in Toronto. I'm here with family. Vacation time is also to be with my family and my loved ones and appreciate time with them. Having memorable moments with them, not just thinking about food all day, every day. Food is enjoyable. I love to eat. But I've also realized I don't have to do it every single day, especially when I'm here in Toronto. I'm not on a tropical island at some like whatever, where it's like the most amazing food every single day. I mean, and I'm not knocking Toronto, right? What I'm saying is I've given myself the opportunity to enjoy good food and eat good food because I've had amazing food since I've been here. But I'm just telling myself I don't have to have it every day. I could if I want to. There are some other days where, if you look here, I've been fasted. And sure, I could have had a lower amount of calories, but I was also in a place where I was like, nah, I'm good. I can make it today. If you look over the last 7 days, today being day 7, today hasn't ended yet. Today's going to be an eating day, just FYI. But if you look at the last 6 days, I've fasted for 3 of those days. On average, my calorie count is 2,300 calories, right? I have literally put myself in a place where I have maintained my weight because 2,300 calories a day is my TDEE, is how many calories I burn in about a day. So instead of pushing up a ton of weight on vacation, I've barely moved that scale. And it's really interesting because if you look at day 1 where I weighed 144 pounds, today I was 144.2, right? On past vacations, I've gained 20 pounds in 6 days. I've gained 15 pounds in a week or 2 weeks. And like I said before, let's be real, right? 20 pounds, 15 pounds, 10 pounds. I didn't gain that much fat in that short amount of time. A lot of that is water weight. But to be in this place right now where my weight has stayed stabilized, I love to see it. I really, really love to see it, right? Today is going to be a different day because today is going to be a day where it is a 20% day for me. There's something about my last day on vacation where I will eat. And trust me, I'm going to eat. I'm also going to film it so I am transparent and honest and you see what it looks like. Because I know that if I don't film any of it, if I don't show you what I'm eating, I'm going to go probably overboard. So this is helpful for me in that regard. But I'm pretty sure today is going to be a 5, 6, 7,000 calorie day. And I'm going to push up on the weight tomorrow. But that's okay because I already have a plan moving forward. I've spent the last 7 days on vacation with 3 fasted days, and I look at that as a huge win. Of course, I didn't have to fast on those vacation days. I could have eaten cleaner. I could have limited calories, but I've made these decisions, right? It was my choice to do what I've done, and I'm okay with that. I've still walked every day. I've still gone to the gym multiple times to lift weights, which in past vacations, I wouldn't even think about doing that. That's a big change for me. I'm counting calories. And on my 20% days, it's not like I have a food scale on me. I'm not counting calories in the most accurate way right now, but I'm giving myself a rough estimate because it keeps me in check. It keeps me aware. It keeps me in this place where it's like, okay, Jerome, you've had enough. You're good. Is your protein up there? Good. You're still keeping your macros where they need to be, right? Like I'm putting mindfulness in what I'm doing. And that's the difference from how things used to be. So that's all my stats for today. I was going to say we can do fit check, but I'm literally, well, maybe we can do fit check. We'll try to do fit check. Again, I'm not outside. It's raining. It's pretty bad out here. Although it doesn't look like it's raining anymore. Maybe it's raining lightly, but I'm doing this live stream early because I have to catch a flight and I'm heading back to Chicago and I still have to pack. And I'm surprised. Well, my mom was up earlier, but my other family's still asleep. And I just wanted to give myself enough time to show my accountability to all of you, to let you know I'm here, to let you know what things are looking like right now, and to help you stay accountable as well. So let's do fit check real quick. I'll see if I can do it here. Before I get into fit check, I always say this, right? I've been overweight my entire life, everyone. This is something that has been a part of my life since I was a little kid. Overweight during my adolescence, obese, morbidly obese in my teenage years, right? Morbidly obese in my 20s, in my 30s, and even in my 40s, right? I'm 44 years old now, and I've only started to lose the weight. I'm pushing this back as I'm about to do a fit check. I've only been able to lose this weight over the last couple of years. I share this because I'm in this place now, and you know what? I might as well do it as we do fit check. I'll see if I can move this chair out of the way. This is the best I'm going to do, everyone. So let's just see how we can make this work. I'm in this place where, and yeah, it's not the full shot, so sorry about that. I'm in this place where I show those pictures because I have lost all this weight through fasting, through eating better, right? Through mindfulness. This is the same shirt I wore yesterday, but again, I just woke up. I went for a walk this morning. I haven't showered yet, so just so you have like a better. This shirt, by the way, is like a boy's XXL. So, but it's pretty loose on me already, especially, and I'm sure this will even be looser as I lean out. I share those photos of me because I want people to understand that as somebody who has been morbidly obese his entire life, I have been able to lose this weight naturally, right? I'm not on any diet pills. I'm not on any medication. I've never had injections for GLP-1 or Ozempic. I've never had weight loss surgery. And I don't say these things to knock them, right? I don't say these things because I'm saying that you should never do any of these things. I say it because I want people to understand that I have been able to find a way to lose the weight without resorting to that. I hate that I said resorting, because people should get the help that they can, where they can. I just want people to also understand that a lot of what we do is based off of habit, like I've been saying, right? A lot of what we've been doing is based off of habit. And regardless of what you're doing to help keep the weight off, you have to always be mindful that your habits need to change. The way you think needs to change. You need to keep performing these habits to keep yourself in check. That's what's important. We'll do Q&A. I'm happy to answer questions if there are any other questions. I know, I mean, we're already 45 minutes into this, and I still need to pack, and I still need to shower and get ready and make sure I haven't even checked in to my flight yet. So I got to do all of that. But I'll answer any questions if you have any. So feel free to ask them now. But in the meantime, if you are looking for help when it comes to fasting or weight loss or accountability, if you're looking for an accountability partner or an accountability coach, you can go to finallyfasting.com. We can book a one-on-one session. You can talk to me like this, a one-on-one. We can put a plan together. We can put a strategy together. We can put a strategy together. I can hold you accountable. Many of us, we know what we have to do. I'm sure there are many of you in here right now that you know what you need to do to lose weight. You know that fasting, having 0 calories in you, is going to move the scale down. You know that eating cleaner, eating less calories is going to move the scale down. You know that exercising, taking care of yourself, lifting weights will help your cardio health, will help build muscle. Building muscle helps your metabolic rate, helps your metabolism, right? We all know these things. Maybe if you don't, now you know, right? We know these things. We just have to start implementing the tools on a day-to-day basis. We have to let go of the all or nothing mindset. Sometimes all we need is accountability. With accountability comes a whole different level of showing up, because you can tell yourself all day, I'm going to do a 3-day fast. I'm going to do a 5-day fast. I'm going to fast for a week, right? You can tell yourself that all day, every day. But the moment you don't want to do it, the moment you're like, I'm not feeling it, right? Who's there to hold you accountable? it's easy to forget then, right? It's easy to forget that any of it even was a thing. This is where accountability can become important. And I'm not here to say that I'm going to slap you on the wrist if you don't do what you say you're going to do. It's not that, but it's to have a conversation. It's to really put yourself back in a mind state of, okay, I got this. I'm going to keep pushing on. If I can't do this fast this long, I can still work on these other things, right? Some of these things can be important in that way. Oh my goodness, Lynn. Jeez, Lynn with a $20 super chat. Lynn, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. It's just it always boggles my mind with these huge donations. Lynn, thank you so much. I sometimes I don't know what to say. Lynn, thank you for the continuous support as always. Lynn with the $20 super chat says, just want to support your channel a little. I think you're amazing. I appreciate that, Lynn. Thank you so much. I get my daily finally fasting dose. I'm glad I found you. Thank you for sharing. Lynn, you're very welcome. I appreciate you. Actually, Lynn, right? You were on you filled out the spreadsheet yesterday for our Wednesday live stream. I did mention you, FYI. So I don't know if you had a chance to check that out. But Lynn, thank you for the $20 donation. I appreciate you so much. It does mean a lot to me. That support means a ton for me. It really helps with what I'm doing. It's one of the reasons that like I'm able to continue creating content on this channel, and it helps me. Just it reminds me that what I do is helping others, and I love to see it when people are able to share. So thank you so much, Lynn. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. At the same time, not at the same time, I'm just trying to see here if there are any other questions. Thomas says, since March 27th, I've done ADF, lost 230, or went from 238 to 181 pounds. Now aiming for 176. Congratulations, Thomas, on your continued weight loss, on continuing to keep it off. Unsure if on vacation one week next week, should eat at TDEE or freely. Then resume ADF 2 more weeks to hit goal and maintain. Any tips? So this is, again, right? This is a trial and error period for you, Thomas. You're already doing the important part here is you're already being aware of it. You already know that you're going on vacation and you need to keep things on check so you don't either gain too much weight or you continue to keep the weight off, or maybe you even strive to losing weight. So if you should eat at TDEE or freely. So this is entirely up to you. Only you will be able to figure this out, right? Obviously, eating at TDEE will keep your weight in check. You know that. You already know that. Eating quote unquote freely changes the game, because if you're going to be loose about it and you're going to be putting the calories up, are you still going to count? Are you still going to roughly track? Or are you going to just be like, oh, I'm on vacation? And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way of doing this, but ultimately you need to decide, is this what I want to do? Am I going to feel good doing this? Am I going to wake up and feel like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, right? This is also a reminder for you, Thomas, that you can change it up, switch it up anytime during vacation. If during the first 2 days you're doing TDEE and you don't want to do it, you can change that up. If you're eating freely and you're not tracking calories and you don't like how that feels, you can change it up, right? That's entirely up to you. Honestly, you should keep me posted and let me know, because this kind of thing, these are learning moments for all of us. These are moments where you get to figure out, okay, this works, this doesn't, I need to change this. But I already feel like you're already doing the first step here, and just being aware of it, just knowing that you're not going to go into it like, okay, it's a free for all, right? I think is a great first step, because I've done that on vacation where it's like, yeah, I'm on vacation, I'm not going to do shit, it's a free for all. I can't really do that because I know that things get away from me when I think that way. Because not only do they get away from me in that way, But then that kind of thinking, when I think to myself, oh, I'm on vacation, I'm going to eat whatever I want all day, every day. When I think that way, that will start to leak into other days of my life when I'm not even on vacation. And again, it doesn't mean that you cannot enjoy your food. It doesn't mean that you can't indulge, because you can. You absolutely can. All I'm saying is put awareness in what you're doing. Hopefully that's helpful, Thomas. Gibson says, are you leaving Chicago? Yes, I am leaving Chicago. I mean, I'm flying back to Chicago today, but I am leaving Chicago. I will be moving out of the country, Gibson. I don't know if you've heard me talk about that before, or have we talked before? I don't know. I can't remember if I've talked to you before, but yes, I am moving out of the country. So hi, Nash. I see you in there. Nash, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Hi, Miss Peaceful One. I see you too. Hello, hello. M-Duds. How's it going? Hey, Jerome, what do you think of vaping while fasted? It normally suppresses my hunger, but I'm worried about other health damages that may cause. I just want your opinion. So I'll give you my opinion, okay? I don't vape. I don't smoke cigarettes. I did for a little when I was younger, but I think it was more because I thought it was the cool thing to do. I know that cigarettes, though, are an appetite suppressant, right? I don't know what the health effects are from vaping versus cigarette smoke or tobacco use. I think it's more cigarette smoke than the tobacco, right? I'm not well versed in it, but I know that smoking cigarettes has a lot of adverse effects. But I know that the pro in doing that is sometimes it's an appetite suppressant. Now, whether let's say vaping and cigarette smoking was equal in terms of its adverse effects, my advice to you would be like, hey, that's something that probably needs to stop. I don't know if it's something that you can wean yourself off of. I also don't know vaping side effects well enough to say whether or not you should continue. But I'm also in the camp of, hey, if it's going to affect you in a way negatively, right? Because one of the things I tell people is to ask yourself, is this making me happy? Is this making me healthy, right? If the answers to that are no, it might be something that needs to change. Also, again, right, you can apply imperfect consistency when it comes to this. It doesn't mean you have to give it up completely, but maybe what it means is weaning yourself off of it and being aware of what you're doing. That's a hard one, right? Because, I mean, maybe not hard. And I guess the only pro for vaping is it suppresses your hunger, I don't think that pro outweighs the cons when it comes to it. But again, right? Like I don't know the science behind it. I don't know the actual adverse effects. I don't know what the long-term effects are. But I don't do it, so I don't really pay much attention to it. But see, right? Like I drink beer, I drink whiskey. And right, like I mean, I'm sure I've shared this before, but like I smoke weed sometimes. I take edibles sometimes, right? But I don't do it on a regular basis. It's not something that I do regularly in that way. So again, you know if it's a good and healthy habit for you. So that would be my advice, to kind of just, be aware and see if it's something that you can change. Miss Peaceful One with a $5 super chat. Miss Peaceful One, thank you so much for your support as always. I appreciate you so much. I mean, I know you know this. You're in my live streams pretty much every day. We talk on the Wednesday live streams as well. Miss Peaceful One with the $5 super chat says, thank you for your support. I appreciate you. I appreciate you as well. So thank you so much, Miss Peaceful One. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see here. Okay, everyone. I'm going to try to go through these questions because I'm going to need to wrap up in a bit because I still need to pack. Deja asks, if you're going into a long fast, do you eat right up until you go to bed so you will, quote unquote, feel full the next day to start the fast? Sometimes I plan a long fast, but don't eat dinner then it's hard to start the fast because I already started out super hungry versus slowly getting into the hunger the first few days. So Deja, the best way I can answer this, and I'll just tell you my routine, and maybe you've seen this. If you're ever questioning how I eat, you can watch any of my live streams. I've been showing people how I've been eating lately. But for me, I usually will refeed at night and I will eat to satiety. Not eating until I'm literally falling asleep, but I will eat until the night and I'm like, yeah, I'm full, I'm good, right? But I also make sure that I eat foods that are nutrient dense. What do I mean by nutrient dense? Yes, I will have snacks. I'll eat pie or whatever every now and then. Now I don't even eat it that often, but I'm eating foods that are, I eat a lot of whole foods. I eat a lot of fruits. I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of meat, right? I eat a lot of foods that are just natural foods. A lot of those foods have a lot of vitamins and nutrients in it. And that's what I mean by nutrient dense. I eat a lot of that because it gives me satiety. And after I finish eating that, if I want a couple snacks that are processed or even ultra processed, I'll have that, right? But doing that puts me in a really good place to fast versus, so like, let's say today, if today I ate nothing but double cheeseburgers and fries at McDonald's and let's say a McFlurry, let's say I had 3 double cheeseburgers and 3 McFlurries and 3 orders of fries and an apple pie and right, I would maybe feel full, but I know I wouldn't have the nutrients that I typically have been eating in my Brussels sprouts or, you know, my chicken thighs or salmon. So again, I structure it in a different way. You're probably going to have to play around with that to see what works, but hopefully that's helpful, Deja. Okay. Patrick asks, Jerome, do you think it's parasites in our bodies which drive us to what and when we eat? Have you heard of this theory? I mean, I think I've heard things about it, but I don't know. It's not something I actually ever discuss or have actually ever thought about. So maybe it is, but I don't even know how you test for something like that, except for maybe going to the doctor and maybe saying something. But I don't know. I honestly am not sure. So I do know though that at least for me, I was around 40 years old when I first started eating vegetables. I have never been somebody that ate vegetables ever. And that was, now I love them. I eat them all the time. That was a different choice by me versus eating ultra processed food every day. That wasn't a parasite thing. That was definitely a habit thing that changed, a mindset thing that changed for me. So, scrolling down here just to see. Okay. Thank you all for talking to each other too. I'm like seeing the chat here and people helping each other out. So I think that's it, everyone. We're an hour in. I have to pack. I'm flying back into Chicago today. I am having my 20% day today, so I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to be eating quite a bit. You're going to see all of that anyway. It's going to be on camera. I'm going to show that. We'll be doing this again tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will be in a new space because if you are not aware or if you haven't been here in a while, I moved out of my apartment. I'm currently in between places right now, and I am going to be live streaming from a new space. Hopefully everything will be set up tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a long day. And I'm not exactly sure what time yet, but my guess is probably around the same time we normally live stream, maybe in the early afternoon, Central Time, but it could be earlier. It just depends. I do have coaching sessions tomorrow morning, so I'm going to have to plan that out. But before I go, just wanted to say thank you again to Lynn and Miss Peaceful One for your generous donations. Thank you so much for the support. I want to thank everybody in chat today for showing up. I appreciate you being here, but I also hope that it is inspiring enough for many of you to show up every day. to show your accountability, to share with each other, to support each other, to be kind to each other, right? The community I'm trying to foster here is a community where we have one goal, right? That one goal is to be happy and healthy. That's all I care about. That's honestly all I care about. I want this to be a thriving community where we support each other in that way. So please continue on with that. Thank you to my Finally Fasting fam members. I forgot to say that today, but if you want to support me in a different way, there is a link in the description of this live stream where you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. If you join the higher tier group, we have a special Wednesday night live stream, which we did yesterday. Well, it wasn't Wednesday night. We did it Wednesday afternoon, but other people get on camera. We have discussions about what their accountability looks like. It's an accountability live stream. Like, it's a group coaching session in that way. So if you're interested, you can take a look at the link in the description. Otherwise, I got to shower. I got to pack. I got to get to the airport. So I'm going to get out of here. Everybody, thank you again for being here. We're going to do this again tomorrow. I'll be back in Chicago tomorrow. So I'll be in a new space tomorrow. So we'll see how that fares out. It's not like it's a special space or anything. I'm just going to be in a new space tomorrow because I'm not in my apartment anymore. So, okay, that's it for me. I'm going to do my wave goodbye and show some accountability. Show up tomorrow. I'll see you then. All right. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye.